So, today we're going to talk about all the different types of tension wrenches that I happen to use and what I use them for the most. So, this way you can get a generalized idea of what you're doing when it comes to tensioning your lock and, what are the best tensioners to use on what lock, that kind of thing. Let's get right to it. So talking about tension, there's all kind of different tensioners, but what do you use them on? You know what I mean? Like what one works best on what types of lock. We're going to go through each one. I'm going to tell you a little bit of the, advantages, disadvantages of each one. You've got the ergo turners, the flat bars, the Z bars. And over here, we have the Reaper set Z bars and the Reaper set flat bars. Don't forget to like. First things first, we've got the ergo turners. The rule with tension is you want the fattest fitting tensioner in the keyway that you can get. The less wobbling and wiggling around your tensioner does, the better. So you want the tightest fitting tensioner. Now, with these ergo turners, they are ergonomically designed to be a little bit more comfortable than the flat bars when you're picking these types of locks. So as you can see, I've placed it in the top of the keyway. It's all the way in there, fitting very snugly. And this is how you would hold on to this tensioner. Okay? Now, also on these types of locks, you can use the flat bars. If you're going to use the flat bars, you want the tightest fitting that you can get, as usual. You're going to place it in the top of the keyway. And for this, I would use the shortest end. You don't want this long end because this long end will tend to wobble a lot this way, and that makes it harder to tension. So you want to place the shorter end in the top of the keyway, and you're going to hold it like this. Now let me tell you a quick side note about top of keyway tension. When you are top of keyway tensioning, these things tend to go flying every 5 seconds when you're first getting into it. So if that's happening to you, don't worry about it, okay? Next up, we've got the Z-bars. Now, you can use the Z-bars on these types of lock in the bottom of the keyway, like so. Again, you want the tightest fitting one that you can find, and you also want one that's not going to bind the core. If you use too small of a tensioner in the bottom of the keyway, when you're turning it, it can actually get jammed right here in the corner, and you can bind the core, meaning it won't move anymore. So you'll be either stuck having really no feedback at all because none of the pins will bind, or, your lock could be open, but you're not able to turn the core because the tensioner is stuck down there and it's binding it up. So just make sure you've got a big enough tensioner so that it doesn't bind the core. And these you would hold like this. If you want to tension from the left side of the lock, you would hold it like this. But I find it really difficult to tension this way, and so I just don't do it. You can also take the Z-bar and take the shorter end of the Z-bar and use it in the top of the keyway like this. Right? If you're more comfortable holding it like this, that's fine. Or again, some people will hold like this and press down. Next up, we've got the Reaper set, and there's all kind of cool little features on these Reaper tensioners that actually do kind of assist when you're tensioning. For instance, each one of the Reaper tensioners has a little dots cut out. 1, 2, or 3. So obviously 1 being the smallest, 2 being medium, and 3 being the thickest. On this one, we're going to go ahead and grab the number 3. All right, and once again, you can use it in the top of the keyway like this, or on this side like this. Or you can use the bottom of the keyway. However, with these ones, it does have a little ledge here that kind of dips down to allow you to fit your pick in a little bit farther and to allow you a little bit more space when picking. Same with the Reaper flat bars. Now these also have the little holes in them so you can see which size tensioner you've got. So we're going to grab the thickest one and hopefully it will fit in the top of the keyway, and it does. As you can see, there's a little bump sticking up here. These are designed to kind of go right over those very smoothly and not interfere in your picking. You're going to place this in the top of the keyway and hold it like this. And as you can see, that little bump doesn't get in the way in this instance, but sometimes you do have keyways where you're going to tension and that little bump is going to be in the way. So these ones would work great with that. But for now, this is how it's going to hold. As you can see, the Reaper tensioners have a couple little extra features, which in my opinion are kind of like an upgrade from just a regular flat bar or a regular Z-bar. If you happen to have a Euro cylinder like this, my preferred type of tension is usually these Z-bars here, and I like to place them in the top of the keyway and tension in this direction. As you can see, that one doesn't quite fit, so I'm just going to keep trying them out until I find one that kind of fits very snugly in there. and won't wiggle and jiggle around as much. All right, so it seems this number 2 is going to be the winner. Now, with these Euro cylinders, you can pick them counterclockwise or clockwise, and so this way would be the best to tension this lock. Just because of the shape of the keyway, that's how I would tension this one. But you can tension it, clockwise if you'd like, or you can use these in the bottom of the keyway and tension it like this. However, again, this little kind of dip here in the tensioner, it's designed to come out of the right side here. In a pinch, you can use it going counterclockwise, but you're not going to have that little kind of cutout there, making it a little bit easier to fit a pick inside the lock. You can also use a flat bar on a Euro cylinder if it will fit, and if it will work, just use it. So you can also use it like this or counterclockwise like this. Whatever happens to work in your lock the best is the one you should use, and pick it in whichever direction you feel like. There's no rule about what direction you have to pick it, although some locks only pick clockwise, so there's that. Now, if you've just got a kick cylinder, same deal. You can use top of keyway with the Z-bars, again using the tightest fitting one you can find, and you can tension it counterclockwise or you can tension it clockwise. You can press up or down. A lot of people press down. I usually press up, but that's just my personal preference. Whatever works. Or you can use a flat bar. Again, tensioning clockwise or counterclockwise. And you can also use the in the bottom of the keyway. Again, tensioning clockwise or counterclockwise. You can tension it pushing up. If this was a regular flat bar, you could take it, place it in the bottom of the keyway, and press down. Now, you probably could get away with using this, even though the cutout isn't designed for this side of the lock. If you can fit your pick in there and it works, then it's fine. But a regular Z-bar will also work, and it won't, get in the way there. Alright guys, so as you can see, you can pretty much use whatever tensioner will fit in whatever lock, in whatever way that you can get it to work. Alright, there's many different choices. I suggest you try mix and match, because you never know what's going to work, and you never know what's going to work best on a particular lock. Every lock is different, so do whatever you have to do to tension these locks. I hope you found this video to be helpful. If you still have any questions about tensioning, or you just want to learn a little bit more about it, which if you are just starting out, you probably should, check out this next video. And I will see you guys on the next one. Lady Locks out. Subscribe.